Hi, a warm welcome to you. In this session, we will understand the concept of logarithms, and in coming 2 to 3 videos, we will see first the concept and understanding logarithms, and the next video we will see laws of logarithm, and in the final video we will see some problems applying the concept of logarithms. Okay, right. So what is logarithm, right? So logarithms are basically devised by John Napier in 17th century. So that was done to help resolve complex calculations into simple ones. And the current day logarithms, whatever we are reading, they are due to Euler, 18th century, who actually related the exponential functions and the logarithms. So how we do a logarithm is two forms, right? So if you take this exponent form, a power x is equal to b, then we say that x is equal to logarithm of b to the base a. This is basically how we say logarithm. This is how we say. This is how two forms here. This first form is known as exponential form. The second form is known as logarithmic form. First form is known as exponential form, and the second form is known as logarithmic form. Okay. Now how we define the how you define the logarithm? So let us say that suppose you want to find out logarithm of b, right? Okay, right. So what we say then? We say that logarithm of b is nothing but, from this it is equal to x, right? How we define it is logarithm of a number, that's nothing but logarithm of b is nothing but equal to the exponent to which a number called base has to be raised so that the resultant is equivalent to the number. Let me repeat that again. Logarithm of a number is nothing but equivalent to the exponent to which the base, a number called base, has to be raised so that the resultant is equal to number. Let us say that a equal to 10. Oops. Let us say that a equal to 10. A equal to 10 and b equal to 100. Okay. Just remember that the base, whatever we call, how we read this? X equal to logarithm of b to base a. A is always 10 by default. A is always 10 by default. So in another way, how we can say that is, this is all depend upon the convention that any number can be written as 10 to the power of some exponent. The exponent can be an integer or the exponent can be a fraction. Okay, right. Now let us say something like 100. Let us say we want to find out the logarithm of 100. Now how I can write 100? I can write 100 is nothing but equal to 10 square. So now substitute this here and see what's happening. 10 square equal to 100. Perfect. Which gives that logarithm of 100 to the base 10 is nothing but equal to 2, right? So what we are saying here, logarithm of 100 to the base 10 is nothing but equal to 2. Let's take one other example. Let us say that you want to find out the logarithm of 1000. Okay, think about this. You want to find out the logarithm of 1000. By default, if nothing is given, the base is always 10. Okay. Now what is the definition? The definition says logarithm of 1000 is nothing but equal to 10 has to be raised to some exponent which is nothing but the logarithm of 1000 such that it equals to 1000, right? So 10 power x is nothing but equal to, we know that 1000 I can write it as 10 cube. This gives me x equal to 3. So logarithm of 1000 is 3. Now you want to try another one? Let's try another one. I think hope you got it. Let's try another one. Find out this logarithm of 0.001. Think about it and find out. Pause the video. Take your time. Think about it. This is always 10. I'll just give you a hint. What I am saying is nothing but if this logarithm is equal to x, then 10 to the power of x is nothing but equal to 0.0001. Correct? Now how I can write that? 10 to the power of x equal to 10 to the power of, can I write it as -4? So x equal to -4. So logarithm of this is nothing but equal to -4. Okay, right. Now as I said earlier, in 17th century and 18th century, when the technology was not available, that you don't have logarithms, I mean you don't have the logarithms and exponentials were not there and the calculators were not there, what they used to do is they used to apply logarithms to simplify the calculations. Let's take one example and see how they were doing it. Okay, right. Let us take a simple example and see. Right. I will take a simple example. Let me pick an example here. How they used to do. We will take a simple example to appreciate what they were doing, why logarithms has to be studied. So I just kept this here so that I'll remember it. 2 cube into 3 square into 4 cube into 5 square. So I was saying 2 cube into 3 square into 4 cube. You can tell me, oh okay, I can do this calculation. I don't know why I have to use the logarithms for it. To actually keep it simple and sweet and short, I have taken a very small number, right? See here, even this takes a little bit of time. 8 9s are 72, 72 into 64 into 25 takes a little bit of time, and let us see this, what it becomes. 72, 8 into 9 into 64 into 25. That's nothing but 8 9s are 72. 64 into 25, you can check the calculator, it will be 1600. And if you multiply 72 in 16, it will be 1152 and 100. That means 1,15,200. This is a very simple calculation we have taken, right? Okay. Now suppose there is a very big calculation like 2 power 23, 3 power 32, 4 to the power of 83, 5 to the power of 234. Now I cannot do, yes, I cannot do, you cannot do. Now you have calculators, so calculators will help you. But in 17th century and 18th century, what they have done? They have found a mechanism, something like where you can decode this and find out some value. Again, okay, again what you do? Again decode it back. You code it, then you decode it, right? So something like that. So what they have done is, suppose I have applied log on this. I am not going to the specifics how I do. I am just only telling you how they used to do so that you will appreciate, right? Okay. So how they used to do whenever they have to do such a big calculation is, they used to apply logarithmic law on that. They used to simplify it, find out some value of the whole logarithm. Then they have another table called anti-log table. They go to the anti-log table and find out what they used to do. Suppose you have a complex calculation. Okay, what they used to do? They used to apply log, and then they used to apply anti-log, and at the end they used to get the result. So that is the easy way of doing it. What they are exactly doing at that time is they are converting all the products and the divisions into plus and minus. How? You want to see that? Let me take this example. I will take this example and explain you. Okay, I am erasing this. This also you can erase. I think you will just remember that that's nothing but equal to 115,200. That's nothing but equal to 1,15,200. Now if I apply logarithm and again apply the anti-log, I should get the value. So what they used to do is something like this. They have one log, then they have one anti-log. You give them very complicated calculation, something like this, and pass it through, apply the process of logarithms, get the value, and again pass it through anti-log. Your answer is ready. So what you are doing in this process, at the time in 17th century, 18th century, it was used by scientists, engineers, okay, sailors, okay, astronomer, okay, all types of scientists. So what they used to do whenever there are complicated calculations, use logarithms, find out some value in logarithm. Now again apply anti-log, okay, something like you are wearing a mask and you are removing the mask, okay, and you got the answer. So let us see how they used to do. I will show you how the tables used to look so that you will appreciate how they were. I have an example here. Let me show you. This is how the logarithmic table used to be. This is how the logarithmic table used to be. Let me just zoom it so that you can see it better. This is how logarithmic table used to be. I remember studying it 30 years back, but I don't remember exactly how it is done, and we don't do it also, so you don't need to, but just need to remember that that's how it used to be done. So what they used to do, once a complex calculation is there, then used to apply the log values of them, find out the log values from this using by logic. Once you get the log value, then you go back to the anti-logarithm table. See here, there is another table by name anti-logarithm. Maybe I haven't went there. I'll just show it to you. You can see here anti-logarithms. So what you do, you apply logarithm, find out the value, go to the table, find out logarithm value, then go to another table, anti-logarithm table, and find out the value. So let's go ahead and see how this was done. We are taking this simple example, right? So now if I apply log, I will tell you after some time, but what it becomes is, it becomes 3 log 2 plus 2 log 3 plus 4 becomes 3 log 4 plus 2 log 5. Okay, right? So let me erase this one. Okay, right. Now this simplifies to, now what I will do, what they used to do is, they used to go to the tables and find out the values. Okay, now we have technology with us, so let's go ahead and see what is this. Now what I want, you know, right? Just let me simplify this so that I can do it easily. Okay, now I will just do this all in one step. Okay, right. Now that is nothing but what they used to do in 18th century, go through the logarithm table. Now I have so many privileges, so I will do that easily, right? 3 into logarithm of 2, oops, 3 into logarithm of 2 plus 2 into logarithm of 3 plus 3 into logarithm of 4 plus 2 into logarithm of 5. Simplify that. What is that value? Remember that value, right? 5.061 whatever it is. Okay, right. I am just remembering it. If I say AC, it will store it. Okay, right, fine. Now what you have done, you have gone through the logarithm tables and you found these values applying some logic. You found these values. Now we have calculators, but at the time they used to do it in, and they have found what is that value. They have found that value as 5.06145. 5.06145. 6145, right. Now this is the first part. This part is over. Now I have to go to anti-log, right? So if they apply anti-log to this, the answer will come, right? That's nothing but in current time I can say this is nothing but the answer is 10 power of this 5.06145. So let us do that and check whether I should get the value of 1,15,200. Okay, right. So what I am saying is 10 to the power of 5.06145247908. That should be fine. I think that should be fine. You can check what is the value there. It's nothing but equal to 1,15,199.999. So you will agree with me that it's nothing but equal to 1,15,200. This may not be needed for you for exams, but I think that this will enable you to visualize what is the exact use of logarithms at very ground level. Okay, let me take a recap of this. In the next video we will see the laws. I will just summarize whatever I have done and I will close it with a very funny note. How to remember this formula, a power x equal to b. We will do that. Just before that I will summarize. Logarithms was devised in 17th century by John Napier, and current day logarithms whatever we are using where it is related to exponentials is due to contribution of Euler. Okay, right. How logarithm is defined? Logarithm is based on the concept that any number can be written as 10 to the power of an exponent, where the exponent can be a integer or it can be a fraction. So how logarithm is defined? Logarithm of a number, suppose say this is x here, right? Logarithm of b is x. Now how I define? I say logarithm of a number is nothing but the exponent to which another number base has to be raised so that the resultant is nothing but equal to the number. If it is confusing, we will see another way of remembering it, but just remember, if a power x equal to b, then x is nothing but equal to log of b to the base a, and a is always 10 by default. A is always 10 by default. Now after that what we did, we took some simple examples like okay, you said that logarithm is nothing but 10 to the power of what I have to raise. So I want to find out the logarithm of 100. 100, how I will raise 10 to the power of 2. That means log of 100 is 2. Very simple, right? Similarly, I take 1000. 1000 I can write it as 10 to the power of 3. So logarithm of 1000 is 3. Similarly, I take another example, simple example, where it is 1 by 10 to the power of 4. That's nothing but 10 to the power of minus 4. 10 to the power of minus 4 is 10 to the power of x. That gives me x equal to minus 4. And out of these two forms, the first form is called as exponential form. The second form is called as logarithmic form. After that, we took a simple example to understand how they were actually utilizing the logarithms. Suppose there is a calculation where you have to multiply. As I said earlier, with the help of the logarithms, you are converting your multiplications and your divisions, which are nothing but very complicated, into simple additions and subtractions. Suppose I have to find out 2 cube into 3 square into 4 cube into 5 square. What they used to do at that time, this is simple I have taken. Imagine that this is 2 to the power of 334, 3 to the power of 123, 4 to the power of 356 and 5 to the power of 386. See here, that is very complicated for even a calculator. So if that is what you have to do, Then they have logarithmic tables where you simplify this in logarithmic form, then apply the values from the tables and then move it to the anti-log box where you apply anti-logarithm of that and you find out the value. So what we did, we simplified this according to logarithmic law, which we will learn in the next video, and according to that we have found the value from this particular box, that is 5.06. Now I have applied anti-log, that's nothing but 10 to the power of this. That has given me that the calculation I have done with the help of calculator or by hand is nothing but equal to this. So this is a simple example, but imagine that if it is having millions and trillions, then it becomes very easy to use logarithms, and logarithms is used everywhere in all the fields and it's very important. Okay, now coming to the funny side, I promised you that I will tell you funny side of how to remember this formula. So let me go ahead and tell you that. Okay, I will just erase little bit here. I'll just erase little bit here so that I can explain you that. Okay, right. Okay, we are reaching the end. Just bear with me for 5 minutes. Okay, right. See here, you are saying a to the power of x equal to b, this you have to remember. You saw I have drawn a log there. Why I have drawn a log there? Because I have devised a story for you so that you will remember it easily. See, a to the power of x is equal to b. This is nothing but this is a multi-story building where somebody is there in the first floor and another person is there in the second floor. Okay, right. Now suddenly what happened? Flood came. Suddenly flood came. So A has to survive. So what A did is A started swimming. A started swimming until he found a log. He found a log somewhere, so he swimmed till he found a log. Once he found a log, what he did? He went and took the support of log. He sticked there. Okay, right. This is nothing but equal to a to the power of x equal to b will become x is equal to log, this is log and b to the base a. Now you can ask me how you will go back. Pretty simple. Once the rain is over, the flood is over, he don't need the support anymore. So he just said thank you to the log and he went back. He went back to his place and he saw that x is taking care of his home. So he said, thank you x for taking care of me. Thanks for all your help. Now I am there. I will take care of myself. And x moved to the top, second floor, and A is in the first floor. They are happy ever after. That is how you had a power x equal to b and x equal to log b to the base a. Let me repeat that again. A power x equal to b is nothing but A and x are staying in a multi-story apartment, ground, first floor and second floor. Okay. Suddenly what happened? Suddenly flood came. When the flood came, A has to survive. So A started swimming. A started swimming and he survived with the help of a log. He found a log. So just clinged to the log and he stayed there. So that is how x became log b to the power of log b to the base a. Now how again it became a to the power of x equal to b? Once the flood is over, A want to go back to his home. So he said thanks to b and he went back to the home. He saw that x is taking care of his flat or the place. He said thanks x, I am back, can you move? So x moved and A took his place back. That is nothing but, I have some more funny stories for this, more violent ones, but this is one of the story. Hope you will like it. I will catch you in the next video where we will go through the laws of logarithms. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. And a sheer coincidence, as we are going through the floods in the example, it's raining like cats and dogs outside. Thank you and have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Bye for now.